to send billions of dollars in weapons to the Israeli military.
And Democrats are proud of that. 103 in the House voted to cut off Israel. Unthinkable just a couple of years ago. Israel losing support in the U.S., and there's a fallout in the region and around the globe. Why I think it's absolutely and abundantly clear they remain our most loyal ally in the world.
Number one.
Yeah, we came close to taking just about everything away from the Houthis once before. We didn't finish that campaign because they were willing to do what? They were willing to stop. And they know full well what's coming if they attempt to do this.
Yup, day 6, and the game plan is clear. Systematically, militarily take command of the Strait. Iran knows it and might use the Houthis, as you heard Jack Keane just mention, as leverage so that they could stop action in the Red Sea. We'll play this out, what it might turn out to be President Trump's most effective, risky, and rewarding military campaign. You know, you just told me how many times, Jonathan, you've been in the Middle East, in Israel, for long periods of time.
Yeah, since 2002 I've been going there. Yeah.
So can you explain, knowing that you know about Israel and what they've been up against since the attack on October 7th, the change in sentiment towards them here?
I think it's inexplicable. I think they have lost the PR campaign, certainly. Why that has happened is much more difficult to explain. But I think you look at what's going on in American colleges. You look at the anti-Israel sentiment there. The anti-Israel sentiment being put forward by a lot of professors in American colleges, and I've seen it with my own kids. To be perfectly honest, they are persuaded by that. It's the trendy thing to do, I think, to be anti-Israel, and it's deeply sad because it's not born out of a recognition or an understanding of the situation on the ground. I think it's tragic with the anti-Semitism we're seeing here.
Are you surprised that J.D. Vance has been having trouble pushing back on it? In fact, subtly, I think he's playing into it. Listen to him with Joe Rogan, Cut 15.
And then can I just say one other thing about this? Because there are people, you see Mike Pence, who's sort of a super hawk, my predecessor, who say this. There are people, who are super hawkish in the American system who have attacked the deal and frankly, in some ways, have tried to derail the deal. And what I always say to those people is, what is your proposal? What is your actual argument?
And what I have to say, a lot of that pushback is from elements in the Israeli government. About the deal is, in my view, it's a terrible deal. The MOU is an absolutely awful deal.
Yeah.
And for people to criticize, for him to think that he's not open for criticism on a deal that he just parachuted into is crazy.
Yeah, I would agree. The MOU was a terrible deal, remains a terrible deal.
And that was you're just speaking for our Gulf allies and Israel.
Right. I don't think you can trust the Iranians on anything. And the language in the MOU was loosely written. I don't know where we go from here, because to make the Iranians understand there has to be change, you have to do, I think the only option at this point is to do more militarily. And I don't know that the president and the American people, for that matter, have the stomach for that.
What the president's doing is not trying to sell it, just do it. And he first, take a pause, see if we get a deal. Took a pause, thought he had a deal a couple of times. And I think he does talk to people that sound reasonable. And Steve Witkoff, who he really likes, as the foreign minister, is ready to cut a deal, and makes Vahidi and the IRGC look at the unreasonable ones, where if you listen to people that really know how the Iranians operate, there's really no difference. They just use that as a way to get a better deal.
Yeah, they're playing for time, as they always do. And
because they know it gets closer to the midterm.
Right, and what strikes me as the terrible thing here is that the only talk we have now is about the Strait of Hormuz. It's like everybody's forgotten the nuclear issue, which is the whole point of the thing in the first place. Now we're just talking about getting ships through the strait. It's crazy.
Right. And one thing that General Keane did bring up to me this morning is because now they're getting a nuclear program, getting a nuclear bomb is further away.
Yeah.
Since 2025,
Sure.
Midnight Hammer. Then we keep hitting it. We don't have any control of the pickaxe. The pickaxe is so far underground. But I wonder if there's a game plan for that. But the goal is to physically, militarily take back the strait. There, and knowing that how easy and convenient and drones are. Do you think that's possible?
I think it's really difficult without putting troops in in much more in harm's way on Carg Island, etc. That is a huge stretch of coastline. I think it's about equivalent to the entire west coast of the U.S. in terms of the length. So how you control that completely, and you can keep taking out Iranian assets along the strait there, but all they need are these tiny boats. And also, you've got a multi-million-dollar tanker. Are you really going to take the risk if Iran says we will? All they need to do is say, we will blow you out of the water. That's all they need to do. It's the threat. No, none of these companies want to take the risk.
Yeah, if you can show that no one's been hit, I don't think, in 3 or 4 days, and then if you show the damage has been done, perhaps they would be able to insure it. Let's talk about the World Cup. You're going to be covering it Saturday and Sunday. You're going to be out there. You've been covering it for the last 3.5 weeks, and you grew up playing soccer.
I did.
How's the U.S. done?
U.S. did very well early on. The capitulation against Belgium was terrible to see. They just did not come, I think, with their minds in the right place. So it's been great for U.S. soccer. I wish they had gone at least one round further, because I think that would have really made a big difference. And it was the mindset against Belgium. Two things. A couple of the players said after that game, we all thought we were going to be going to LA tomorrow for the quarterfinals. If you're going into that game with that mindset that you've already run and won and you're on your way to LA, wrong mindset at elite sports. So I think that was a problem. I also think they were affected a lot more than anyone will admit by the Balogun red card controversy. And I think in a way, it would have been better for the US if that red card had stood, because they had the moral high ground then. They had the sense of injustice fueling the fire for them. Instead, with the red card, the suspension rescinded, it all flipped to Belgium, that moral high ground, and they ran on that fuel, and they were determined to win. And I think that made a huge difference on the day.
So, do you think that we reevaluate youth soccer in this country? Everyone plays, but we don't achieve on the men's side. And they talked about setting up an academy system that would be free. Get the young David Beckham, pull him out, get him an academy, but don't charge the family.
Right.
We should have enough money to be able to do that.
For sure, we should have enough money to be able to do that. And that is, my daughter's soccer. It's expensive. It's really expensive to do that, and as you keep moving up a level. So, they need to change the way it's run. And I think an academy that you take the kids in, and if they've got the talent, you are not looking for money from the families, is a great idea.
So let's talk about the final. Yeah. You have Argentina looking for the first repeat World Cup champion since 1962 against Spain, the European champions. Right away, I feel like Spain goes in the favorite. Do you?
Spain would be my favorite. I picked Spain before the tournament began to win it all. I wavered a little bit when France was playing so well, but I think Spain has enough. They won't do the stupid substitutions and backing off that England did in the semi-final against Argentina. I think they've got enough. They play beautiful soccer. They know how to keep the ball. They will have a plan for keeping Messi off the ball, but I say Spain without 100% conviction, because any team that has Messi, as they've shown again and again in this World Cup, you give them 6 minutes at the end and they're behind and they can still win.
What is your takeaway, Jonathan Hunt, of why Cape Verde gave him such a hard time and why Egypt almost beat him?
Because I don't think Argentina are a great team. They're a very good team. I don't think they are a great team until Messi decides it's time to be a great team. So if he decides that in the final on Sunday, they have every chance of winning. If Spain can come up with a plan to close him down, I do not believe the rest of the Argentinian players around him have the ability to do it without Messi functioning at the highest level.
And now Spain had this vaunted defense that many people thought wouldn't be as strong, but it has been as strong.
Well, one goal they've conceded in the entire World Cup so far. So they've been incredible. Their midfield, Rodri, I think, is probably the best midfielder playing in international soccer right now. So they're great. And then we still are waiting for Lamine Yamal, 19 years old, the Messi to be in a way, to fire on all cylinders. If he does that, Spain, I think, could probably be on top.
And right now, you're going to get 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The pregame starts at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be out there with Fox and Friends, and you'll be out there all day, and of course doing the recap at night. But you got to feel like the ratings are going to be through the roof.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, it's a marquee matchup, like you said, reigning world champions against the current champions of Europe. It's the game, I think, that if anybody thought about what do we want at the end, that's the game you would have chosen. It's going to be box office. And the ratings have already been through the roof for so many games. Fox Sports has done an incredible job in their coverage. Rebecca Lowe, my fellow English person, has been incredible. I think Zlatan, Alexi, and Thierry, all amazing. Thierry, I think, is going to go somewhere else at the end of this, is my prediction.
What do you mean?
I think Thierry might be the next manager for France.
Really?
You heard it here first.
Without any coaching experience? He
He has some coaching experience, and he just has, I think, the best soccer brain out there right now. And I think if he's not, then France are missing an opportunity. I think he would be a great national team manager.
So if you look for a coach to outcoach another coach, you would think the teacher would outcoach the student. And Scaloni was a student. He said as soon as he was done playing, he went to Spain to a coaching academy, and his coach was Luis del Fuente. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
So that was his coach.
Yeah.
And they've been friends ever since.
I know.
Think about that. What are the chances of that?
I know, it's great. What are the chances of so many things here? That, what are the chances of Messi having given a bath to a 0-year-old?
Explain that.
So there's this photo out there. It was taken in 2007. There was a UNICEF charity shoot. They were looking for babies in the Barcelona area. Lamine Yamal's mom put him up for that. He got the job sitting in a bath, and a 20-year-old Messi is giving him a bath. It's a weird photo to have chosen anyway, but that full circle moment, they had no idea that Lamine Yamal was going to become a prodigiously talented soccer player when he was, I think he was 5 months old at the time. And
Right. I don't think they'll
giving him a
reenact it. I don't think they'll reenact
Let's hope not. Yeah.
That would be troublesome. We'll see what happens. And lastly, this will be Messi's last World Cup game, correct?
And you've got to. He's 39 years old, so you've got to think this is his last World Cup game. And while I would like Spain to win, because Messi another World Cup if he does win it.
44? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I mean, that would be crazy.
It would be crazy. I mean, the dude is showing no signs of slowing down in this World Cup. He's amazing.
I know it is. And the other thing, the last twist would be, where did he star most of his career?
Yes,
Barcelona.
Yeah.
So people of Spain love the guy.
Yeah. It's hard not to love him.
Right. I mean, he seems like a good person.
Yeah. That's the difference. Ronaldo from Portugal has always been in that conversation of the best of all time. But I think you have to put personality in there and character. Messi is such a good character.
So at the end of the game, we saw Bellingham, one of the best players in the world, kind of lose his mind a little bit. Could you describe what you know has happened?
Yeah,
after England lost.
Bellingham is a great guy, but he does have a short fuse, and there are a couple of that was a tough game. Argentina were going in hard throughout the game, and then some of the Argentina players were taunting the English players towards the end of it. Bellingham is not a guy who takes kindly to that. He whacked one of the Argentinian players who'd been celebrating in their faces around the back of their head. Bellingham needs to tone it down a little bit. Let his actions do the talking on the field.
One of the words I heard, he went up to Messi and says, "What is it like to be taken care of by the higher ups? And Ronaldo is a better player than you."
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. Both of those things are stupid. I think there's all this conspiracy theory about FIFA wants Messi to win again. No, Messi is a genius. He turned that England game on his own. Nobody in FIFA, no referees were influencing that. Bellingham needs to grow up.
Right. The cross wasn't the goal. It was he went outside and crossed the ball after it hit the post.
On his right foot, which is not his favourite foot. I think it was the most perfect cross you could ever see. Also, England had put on basically 11 defenders.
Hey, Westside.
Man unmarked in the box.
Right.
What are they thinking?
Good to see you.
Saying, too, that tied at 1-1, if one into overtime, you have no forwards left.
Right.
So what do you think?
Yeah, it was the most stupid decisions by Thomas Tuchel. But he's German. I think he ultimately wanted England to lose.
Jonathan, see you out there on Sunday. We'll watch you cover Joe Weekend.
Cannot wait.
Jonathan, thanks so much. Back in a moment.
Giving you everything you need to know. You're with Brian Kilmeade. You can win your fantasy football league in the summer, but you sure can lose it. On Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, we created
this truck doing?
fantasy football lineup to help you build a
Jesus, I'm getting around them.
Need your help. Get the edge you need from Jeff Mans, John Henson.
I was chilling, but I'm not going to stay behind this guy.
And the fantasy footballers.
He's wandering all over.
Winning is even more fun, and our listeners do both.
Listen live on channel 87 to print your draft anytime by searching draft season on the Sirius XM app.
Yeah, Mike Slater, my dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously. I'm a family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, my wife, and 4 kids. The best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Slater.
Hey, if you're shopping for a new kitchen, you cannot miss the Buy More, Save More sale at Cabinets to Go. Because right now,
Everybody, if you have a Rumble, hop on over to the Rumble real quick and say hi and chat.
or 45% off Cotswold linen and chalet.
I need they just raised the expectations for the creator program.
Their custom built cabinets are 50% off. Shop and
It's gonna be a struggle to get it, but I'm gonna try.
Now through July 21st. Only at Cabinets to Go. Designed to wow.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to
Truly Free Speech Network
CarShield is announcing
platform.
a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-651-5982 now. Drivers
We got about a 2-hour drive out there, and then I'm gonna fire it back. I'm gonna leave it off and fire it back up. I'm gonna have to hold it in my hand. They won't let you bring in any stabilizers or anything like that. But I will try and stream from there. If not, I'll just get a good recording and upload it.
Jim, I'm telling you, it makes life miserable. I tried all these over-the-counter creams, but nothing worked. A friend suggested Terrasil, and I gave it a try. He said it worked for him, so I was amazed. It did such an incredible job getting rid of this thing.
Hoping the weather holds up, too.
From fungal infections like athlete's foot, jog itch, ringworm, and tinea ruin your summer fun. Only the Terrasil fungal treatment system combines the clinically proven antifungal clotrimazole with natural ingredients and patented activated minerals to fight infection, helping soothe itch and burning. Terrasil's dual-action system combines a cleansing soap with a medicated ointment to help eliminate fungus and keep it from returning. Ask for Terrasil at Walgreens or CVS, or search Terrasil. That's C-E-R-A-S-I-L.
Are you gonna fucking speed up and merge it at speed?
Payrolls Friday. Rent's due. That big order just
Hate it
landed
when
and you
people
don't
do
have the
this.
cash to fill it. Sound familiar? Stop waiting.
Merge doing less than the speed limit.
You need money now. You need Swish Funding. Swish Funding gets working capital
I
into
love
your
it.
account fast, from $10,000 to $5 million, sometimes in as little as 24 hours. And if that low credit score has you worried, you can relax. That's no problem. At Swish Funding, we look at your business, not just a number. Here's all it takes to get the funding your business needs fast. If you've been in business over 1 year, bringing in at least $40,000 a month, that's it. Every day you wait, you're leaving money on the table. Don't let opportunities or your business slip away. Applying takes just minutes with funds in your bank account within 24 hours with no collateral. SwishFunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com. Swish Funding. The cash you need when you need it. Apply today at SwishFunding.com. If we live in the single best, greatest country God ever gave man, then your quiet, more reflective moments, you think of the sacrifice, the gifts, so many have sacrificed for our liberty, our freedom. What a blessing this is. I gotta say this. Thank God we live in the best country ever. And happy 250th birthday to the United States of America. The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot. Freedom never gets old. opinions. Hear it all on the Brian Kilmeade Show.
This time, the country elected Donald Trump. And well, remember that warning about the barbarians at the gate? Well, the barbarians aren't at the gate. They are inside, including at the highest levels of government. The president and his cronies are abusing government powers to punish political opponents.
Yes, punish political opponents. No, they're trying to straighten up the school system by giving everyone choice. That's Randy Weingarten, a true vile individual whose results for this collective education of the country has gone out of her way to grow the union and hurt the students. It's a remarkable dichotomy. The only thing consistent about anything she touches is that inner city kids will pay the price, and with lower grades. I mean, if you look at math, there's about 32% that are reading when it comes to reading and math on grade level. It's crazy in 4th and 8th and 12th grade. That's why everyone wants to be in a charter school. That's why when you get into a charter school, if you're a working class parent, especially single parent, you feel like you hit the lottery because it gets you out of the public school system that she has ruined through putting the union first. But it's Donald Trump that's a barbarian, really, that wants to bring back education, that wants to give power to the states to change education for the better and give kids a school choice. Take that $8,000 and you pick the school you want to go to. That makes everybody better.
Our Constitution is the longest running Constitution in the history of the world. There's no reason we can't exceed that record and keep going. America 250 is a promise of a better future because of an evolution of a great nation to where we are today. The David Webb Show, weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot. Never gets old. Western Financial Group is no longer.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. It could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Western Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not selling, not transferring, canceling. But you bought a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up. It's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-848-1331. That's 800-848-1331. 800-848-1331. USA. USA. Steven Singer. Hey, I Hate Steven Singer guy just released a brand new limited edition USA 24 karat gold dipped rose. Just in time for America 250. It's a red, white, and blue rose with a star-spangled interior. The best part? A portion of the proceeds from each rose sold supports U.S. veterans in need. Steven's famous roses are a real rose, dipped and preserved in pure 24 karat gold, guaranteed to last a lifetime. Get this new one-of-a-kind patriotic rose while helping U.S. vets. The first batch sold out within 24 hours, but it's back. Hurry to IHateStevenSinger.com to get your USA rose with special patriotic gift cards, or visit Steven Singer Jewelers at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly, or in the Village at Newtown next to the Capitol Grill in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.
You can argue opinions all day long, but you can't argue results. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Black here, founder of Upgrades. And for years, the big pet food companies have told you that their kibble has everything your dog needs. But here's the truth. That bag of food is cooked at such high temperatures, it's dead food. And when you feed dead food day in and day out, the fallout is itchy skin, achy joints, no energy, and endless trips to the vet. When you add Rough Greens, you get the live vitamins, probiotics, enzymes, omega.
Get over to the Rumble. I will get you a premium subscription. If I do stream it, it's going to be on premium only.
Skin problems finally finding relief. And even the pickiest eaters are licking their bowl clean. That's proof the industry can't deny. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to see it for yourself. I'll send you a free Jump Shark trial bag. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code PROOF. That's RUFF Greens. Discount code PROOF.
Ready for a bathroom upgrade that won't disrupt your life? Jacuzzi Bath Remodel is here to help. Take the stress out of renovations with quick, professional service from the name America trusts. Affordable, stunning selection of tubs and showers, each designed with style, safety, and your budget in mind. With customizable features like grab bars and seats, your new bath or shower will meet your entire family's needs.
I absolutely love my new bathroom. It's very hard to believe that they get done in one day. Jacuzzi really outdid themselves.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free design consultation and call 800-561-3386. That's 800-561-3386. 800-561-3386. With purchase and installation financing from third-party lenders, subject to credit approval. No interest and no payments, paid in full in 12 months. Interest charged for purchase date not paid in full. Not all will qualify. Call dealer for details.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspace.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees, no obligations. Get real value for your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspace.com.
Celebrating America 215. Sirius XM Patriot.
The fastest 3 hours in radio. You're with Brian Kilmeade.
So,
The trace of roots is a strategic asset. No matter what happens here, they will continue to want to take it back from us because it's not what they don't have.
why the fuck does this keep turning as soon as I look
They
at
don't even close to developing a weapon now. This is their number one strategic asset. It gives them leverage over the Gulf states in the region, and
Fuck
they
me, man.
want to have an element of control here. And they are
Love it when all these people are doing less than the fucking speed limit.
Take it away from them and prevent them from ever getting it back under their control again.
John came with me on Fox and Friends an hour ago, and he says that this is Operation Freedom that stopped in 36 hours because the Saudis didn't want us using their bases. They were nervous about the retaliation. And now he said, screw that, we're going back. You saw them trying to talk, and you saw the results. I don't know the inner workings. That story will come out soon, I imagine. So now we're in day 6 of extreme and strategic bombing in Iran. Joining us now is Keon Taj-Bakish. He's a visiting professor of international relations at NYU. Iranian-American scholar and former political prisoner released as part of the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, and author of the Iran Crisis Notebook, and you can see that on Substack. Keon, how do you feel about the 6-day strategic hit to take back the Strait of Hormuz? Is it working?
Well, good morning, Brian, and thank you so much for inviting me on your show. Well, I don't have up-to-date, obviously, military intelligence to be able to assess whether it's going to meet its final objectives. But the first thing I can say as a civilian and as a expert on Iranian and U.S. foreign policy is that for American interests, it was the right thing to do. That is to say, it was clearly the MOU that was signed in June was not to the advantage of the United States. It was let's say, some kind of Hail Mary. I mean, I've written on my in my X.com post, I do refer to it as a disastrous document. I think it was a misstep, and I think that President Trump is trying to now address or redress that misstep, because whatever goodwill the United States extended, either naively or not naively, not reciprocated by the Iranian regime. And so there really is no option for U.S. strategic interests to continue the pressure, both kinetically and economically and across the whole military options like cyber and other kinds of psychological and perhaps even support to Iranians inside the regime.
I think you told us that, Kia, and I thought so too. You're the expert. You live there. You were in prison there, essentially. You were.
Yes.
So I couldn't believe how bad the MOU was. I thought, okay, maybe in the end, if it ends up good, we're not going to remember what the MOU was. But they're allowed to trade oil right away for 60 days and begin to set operations to take over the strait. I could easily have read it that way, even though the American intention was they said not to write it that way. So J.D. Vance was asked to defend it. And tell me what you think of this. Cut 15.
And then can I just say one other thing about this? Because there are people, you see Mike Pence, who's sort of a super hawk, my predecessor, who say this. There are people, who are super hawkish in the American system who have attacked the deal and frankly, in some ways, have tried to derail the deal. And what I always say to those people is, what is your proposal? What is your actual argument?
So I wanted you to take him on. So he was defending his MOU. So what do you say?
Yeah, well, look, I think there really is no defense of the MOU. It was a complete misunderstanding of the Iranians. I mean, Brian, I think we talked about this earlier. Listen, and I wrote about it in my Substack. Day one, in which the Iranians, I'm not nitpicking here. When I know the Iranian mindset when it comes to negotiations, when the Iranians asked the U.S. to change the location of the talks that ended up in Oman, I said to myself, it's over. When the Americans accepted that, I said it was over. What the Iranians were doing was setting the parameters. They were testing J.D. Vance and his team about how far they could manipulate him and push him. And it was, in my view, and I warned this in public, I mean, I'm not a senior official I don't have the ear of the officials, but if anyone had asked me, I said, please do not, and I think I may have even said this on your show, Brian, you do not send the second most powerful politician in the world who represents the entire American people, you don't send him to meet a fourth level Iranian politician in Islamabad, where he has been drawn. Why Islamabad? It was decided by the Iranians. Why Pakistan? Because the Iranians knew that the Pakistanis were against Israel, that the Pakistanis would support them. Look, the Pakistanis have supported Iranian nuclear program. They gave them the secrets, the Khan Q network years ago. It was a Pakistani rogue scientist that gave Iranians nuclear secrets. Yes, that's right. AQ Khan. And they were in touch with the North Koreans. And then the Pakistanis, so the very acceptance of the vice president to even go along with the Iranians in changing the location. And then, even more embarrassing,
just gonna send you a message.
This, Brian, over again, is that we should never accept. This is undignified for the great superpower of the United States. We should not accept a childish arrangement where the Iranians say, we will not meet you face to face in public, and we'll work. And it'll be like you're in this room and I'm in this room, and we send little notes to each other. All of this, Brian, was an attempt by the Iranians to see how far they could push around the American delegation. And what they saw was the Americans went all the way. They changed it. And then there was this other indignity.
Well, I'm dropping off some iPad cases, but the title says one of the Irish festivals. So I'm going to see Ali the Piper.
On the tarmac. And then the Iranians said, well, you know what? We're not coming. And then he had to say, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just hang around on the tarmac until the Iranians let me know when it's good to come. We should be setting the parameters. We should be setting the location. We should say we will not meet with anyone except in public and face to face, what are we? We are untouchable. We are the American. So I think the whole thing was a disaster from the beginning, and then the actual content of it was even more shocking. And I think that it came from the fact that, unfortunately, that delegation led by J.D. Vance was inexperienced and also naive and did not have good, advice. And then, unfortunately, in this
I'm trying to record some
disturbing, I think, conversation.
I can't bring my monopod or anything in there, so I'll have to hold it. So we'll see how steady I can be with my arms.
Almost anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about
well-funded
secret groups that are trying to
undo
my MOU.
Okay, by the way, you're quoting him, Kia.
Yes, I'm quoting him. And then what I wrote in X.com was not about the content. I said, my goodness, Mr. Vice President, take responsibility. He said, and I quoted him, and he said, and I quoted this exactly in my X.com post, what used to be called Twitter. I said, all he said was this. He said, what really bothers me is when American politicians allow themselves to be influenced by foreign forces. And I pointed out very
She's not with me. I know that picture, but she's not here. Maybe she's in the room watching, but she hasn't said anything in chat.
You don't have to do it. In the first, in President Trump's first,
she's still not feeling great. So, yeah, the smoke really got to her. So, I'm finally feeling a bit better.
Writes about this in his memoir. They went to President Trump and they said, I think we should launch regime change and military operations against Iran. And President Trump said, no, I don't agree with that. And then in his second term, he was open to it. That is to say, it is the U.S. president's responsibility in the end to decide what advice, what influence he's going to allow to to influence him and to shape his decisions. It's our decisions. We are the superpower, and so I was just very disturbed by the entire approach and the lack of ability to take responsibility and to say.
Yeah, we finally got a little bit of rain yesterday. Looks like we might get some rain out at the festival, but the rain kind of helped clear it up a bit.
Right, and I can say, there's a misinterpretation on rule number 5 and number 14, and it's not the way and you could say that, but the bottom line is they left open that management.
Yeah, the AQI is under 100 now. It's down to 96.
60 days.
So
they weren't even waiting 60 days. They were shooting at chips for not listening to him right away. So I want you to hear what General Keane said, and I thought this was conventional wisdom, but I would love your perspective of going inside the Iranian mindset. This is what cut it up.
I've never bought the fact that there's that much of a division. The guy that was ahead of the political side of his Kavanaugh, and look at his best friend in life was Qasem Soleimani. They joined the IRGC together. They became generals together. He then moved to the diplomatic side and moved away from the military side of the IRGC. Qasem went on to fame, obviously, and became established a professional relationship and a personal one with the Ayatollah. And nobody in between, that he ran.
I just like good music.
Foreign policy instrument of supporting the proxies. I believe these guys are much more on the same page than people think. They are committed to what Iran has always stood for.
So when people say, I'm talking to the foreign minister, I'm talking to the speaker, much more moderate to the IRGC, which is led by Vahidi, I think. That's what we're done. And they're dealing with them as if they're the good guys and the bad guys in the IRGC. General Keane does not buy it. He thinks they're speaking from the same handbook.
Brian, I cannot believe we're falling for the same play that the Iranian regime has been using for 25 years. I've been writing about this. I've been talking about that. I have been in many meetings with people like Ghalibaf, the previous foreign minister, the deputy minister, the IRGC. When I was in prison and being interrogated, I was interrogated many hours by very senior. I couldn't see them because I was blindfolded and facing a wall, or sometimes I think I was possibly, I can't prove it, but I think I was interrogated either by Qasem Soleimani's deputy, who sat behind a one-way mirror, and he wanted to know, and he wanted to ask me who in the White House and the CIA and all those things I was in touch with, and I said, you don't really believe that I'm a member of the CIA, do you? And I heard a silence, and then the person who was sitting next to him that I could see by the wall, he said, "Look, actually, we don't believe you're a member of the CIA because if you had been, we would have killed you already." And he was absolutely serious. He said, "You would be dead." And so I cannot believe that this play is still going on, and a lot of it has to do, Brian, with unfortunately critique of these so-called Iran experts, who I have referred to uncharitably as the useful idiots of the Iran think tank world. And they're the ones in Washington that peddle this distinction.
Well, they probably have Guinness.
Over and over again, and I can't believe that we're still falling for it. Look,
They have an Irish whiskey tasting thing, but I'm going to miss that. I'm getting there too late.
No one seemed to take this seriously.
Probably a good thing.
When Vance went to Islamabad, I said, "Where is the photograph?" There was no evidence up to this day, Brian. It's like a scoop. I'm a scientist. I'm a political scientist. I look for evidence. Where was the photograph of Vance and Gulliver in the same room, let alone shaking hands? There wasn't. Now, I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. What I'm saying is that two things are possible. One is actually they never met in person. Second, if they did meet in person, why on earth would the American delegation not, agree to keep that photograph hidden? And the reason is because of a very simple rule that unfortunately American policymakers who have unfortunately not enough knowledge about the complicated psychology of Iranians and the Middle East. Look, Brian, in the Middle East, what politicians say to you in private, in English, is meaningless. It's only what they say in their own language publicly that is meaningful. So interesting. That's exactly what I was saying. No. So listen, that's why the Americans who don't have experience get caught out. It's exactly the opposite of the way political culture works in Iran. In the U.S., politicians lie in public, and then off the record, they'll tell you the truth. It's exactly the opposite in Iran. And Vance fell for this. He talked about side agreements, gentlemen's agreements. This was just nonsense. I could have told him, please, waste your time. Don't buy it. It's unbelievable, Keon. You're 100% right. Keon Taj-Bakish, visiting professor in international relations at NYU. And of course, you were held to a political prisoner as part of the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. You were able to get out, and all throughout the crisis.
A black and tan's an American thing.
It was great to talk to you. Hopefully, I have good news to talk
Just happens to be made with
This is Brian Kilmeade.
Guinness.
Everything you need to know. You're with Brian Kilmeade. It's that time of year when Radio Classics feels a certain seasonal spirit. Why not? Let's start the bar Christmas on a sweet night. So this week, it's Christmas in July. We don't have to wait till Christmas. Radio Classics plays your favorite shows from old times gone by. Hello, Merry Christmas to you. Christmas in July is happening now. Be sure to dress forward now. Radio Classics, Channel 148.
Trying to grab something in the back seat here while I'm driving. It's kind of difficult. Almost got it. All right.
feel about Optima? Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-611-8892. 800-611-8892. Optima Tax Relief. For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt. For a degree he couldn't use? Now what? They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation. You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about Bill. Bill's going to be out there too. We'll see. He was going to bring his little runaround, but the terrain at this fairground, I guess, is not all that even. So.
That's why so many people are switching to GhostBed. GhostBed mattresses are engineered for cooling, support, recovery, and real sleep quality. Because your body should be recovering while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. So you're waking up stiff, tossing and turning.
Oh, some.
Or even reaching for a pain reliever before bed.
Like some of it. Recently about there.
Maybe it's your mattress. Hot sleepers especially love GhostBed's cooling technology because sleeping cooler means fewer wake-ups and better mornings. And with GhostBed's 101 night sleep trial, you can try it at home and feel the difference for yourself. Right now, GhostBed is offering their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10%.
Yeah, he's got hip issues.
And use promo code Patriot. That's GhostBed. Patriot.
Chop it down here. Red Rocky Up. Oh, have you been stuck with the same boat? Do you? Dan, are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills? Switch to Red Rocky Up. With Red Rocky Up, premium 5G plans start at just $10. Let you choose.
Oh, whipped out for a second. Should be back.
Pick the network that actually works where you live and where you work. Try one, and if you like it, keep it. If not, switch to another. Never be stuck with a single network again. Plus, keep your phone, keep your number. Red Pocket Up, your new ultimate cell carrier. New customers can switch and save 50%. Choose from all three major 5G networks with one locked-in low pricing.
I get it.
Redpocket.com. Redpocket.com. Mike Slater. One of my favorite descriptions of an American comes from the Frenchman, Tocqueville, Democracy in America, 1831. He said, while the Europeans built these fancy boats, and they have their veteran mariners, the American boats are fast, and Americans are tough. And that's what the West. And that way for hundreds of years. The more we tap into that, the even stronger we can be. With Mike Slater, weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot. Freedom never gets old. Talk show that's getting you talking. You're with Brian Kilmeade.
We look forward to the final match on Sunday, and I know the president looks forward to attending, but I think the world saw that this president and this country is able to put on the greatest show in sports in the world. And we are kind people, we are hardworking people, and we have the best country on the planet.
People just seem to love it too. And $20 billion later, they're saying, you know what? This World Cup has been a huge success. And I'm sure Mexico and Canada did great too. I mean, we weren't worried about the cartels. In Mexico, you should be. And then in Canada, I didn't hear any buzz about it, but I'm not in Canada. They did great. And the Canadian team did well. They got knocked out in the same round as we did using the American coach. But I would also add that when you look overall, we got to take that money and you got to grow the game. And I think we got to find a way to get that to youth soccer, getting some inner city fields built, and start going beyond that. We also have a major academy in Atlanta, and I think that could be a great place for kids to develop.
The founders' principles of natural law, virtue, limited government, those things stand as a wall of protection against centralized government, emotionally driven rule, and this idea that how people feel should dictate policy. That's freedom. That's 250 years of America. May we have too much
Stacy on the Right, weeknights starting at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot. Freedom never gets old.
Jeez, I lost my mom. She was only 46. I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. And that's the thing nobody tells you. You think you have more time. You made me think, what will happen to the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy to get life insurance.
Oh, yeah?
It's sort of mine. Take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policy as low as $30 a month. Mostly my parents, that was in God's hands. Protecting my family. That is mine.
Ethos, because life goes on. Get your free quote at ethos.com/apply. That's ethos.com/apply. Ethos.com/apply. Paid testimonial. Application times may vary. Online health questions required. Sample rate for a 10-year term life policy for 40-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Suffering with poison ivy and need relief fast? All Natural Marie Originals Poison Ivy Soap is your first line of defense against the noxious urushiol oil found in poison ivy. This sticky oil bonds to skin, clothes, and tools like
Probably. Sounds like fun.
Urushiol technology scrubs, traps, and eliminates the oil for instant relief guaranteed. So whether you had a recent brush with poison ivy or your rash is already spreading, get doctor recommended Marie Originals Poison Ivy Soap in the first aid aisle at Walmart today. These statements have been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed. Celebrating America 250. Sirius XM Patriot 125. News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Mary Rose. In his nationwide address Thursday evening, President Trump again called on Congress to ensure ballot integrity by passing the Save America Act. On the Salem News program this week on Capitol Hill with Tony Perkins, House Speaker Mike Johnson said that's likely to happen as early as next week, tying the legislation to a major reconciliation bill.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. The reason we have to get Reconciliation 3.0 done, it is the vehicle for us to deliver the Save America Act to the president's desk. It is the only way to do it. Because remember, there's no way to get 60 votes for Save America in the Senate. The Democrats just simply won't go along with that. And you've only got 53 Republicans. They're going to make it a reconciliation matter, tying it to the budget with a fiscal impact that will qualify for that process so we can pass it with 51 votes in the Senate and finally take care of this problem.
Former Deputy National Security Advisor KT McFarland is weighing in on election integrity concerns. Following President Trump's address on election integrity, former Deputy National Security Advisor KT McFarland says foreign adversaries are increasingly using technology and social media to influence Americans and shape public opinion.
One great strength of America is our elections, right? We choose our own leaders, but it's in some ways the greatest weakness, especially in an era of...
Yeah, usually they mix them up with those things.
Whether it's China using TikTok to feed a certain narrative. So it's like a disinformation campaign.
McFarland appeared on Salem News Channel with Larry O'Connor, Willie Nelson, the White House. Health experts are warning people to be wary of all that wildfire smoke moving down from Canada. They say it attacks nearly every system in the human body. Officials in Texas have implemented major changes to improve flood warnings after last year's deadly floods in Hill Country. They passed laws for better early warning systems and infrastructure improvements. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Larry Elder here. These words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when pain is part of everyday life. Relief Factor was created to help people address inflammation, one of the most common causes of ongoing aches and pains through aging, overexertion, and just good old daily living. It's a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that works through multiple metabolic pathways to support comfort and mobility. No prescription, no masking symptoms, just real relief so you can keep moving forward. I take Relief Factor every single day. I've done so for years. I don't want my pain to come back. As America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself the chance to reclaim yours. To commemorate, we're offering a special patriotic price to $17.76, so you can pursue your happiness being pain-free. Your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Relief Factor, because freedom just feels better without pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF.
The Trump
Trump administration is changing how long foreign journalists can stay and work in the U.S., replacing the current duration of status system with fixed periods. The Department of Homeland Security says it's shortening visas for most foreign journalists to 240 days, down from stays of up to 5 years. Journalists from China will face even stricter limits, with visas capped at 90 days, prompting Beijing to warn of possible reciprocal countermeasures. While visas can still be extended, the change has raised concerns over press freedom. Advocates for foreign journalists say the shorter timeframes will make it harder for them to live and work in the U.S. Homeland Security says the change is necessary to better vet visa holders. Authorities say the largest residential fire in modern Norwegian history has destroyed over 100 homes. The fire started on Friday. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
Hey, Conan here. I want to make sure you know that my new podcast with the legend Mick Jagger is out right now. I flew from Los Angeles to London, and I got to sit down with Mick Jagger for an hour-long conversation. We talked about the new work, but
That's cool.
And the conversation would span decades. Check out the new episode of Conan O'Brien Gets It Friend with Mick Jagger playing all week on Conan O'Brien Radio, channel 104, or anytime on the Sirius XM.
At the high price of new and used cars today, many drivers are choosing to keep their vehicles a lot longer. But with the average car now over 12 years old, most manufacturers' warranties have expired. I'm Danica Patrick. If your car is out of warranty, a single trip to the mechanic could cost you thousands. That's why smart drivers choose Endurance. If your vehicle is less than 20 years old, no matter the mileage, Endurance could have your car covered for the drivetrain, electrical, AC, transmission, and more. And Endurance is with you every step of the way, from filing a claim to paying the mechanic of your choice directly. And your rate won't go up no matter how many claims you file. Call Endurance now and choose the plan that fits your budget. Act now and get 1 year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value free.
For your fast free quote, call 800-458-1375. 800-458-1375. 800-458-1375. Coverage varies by plan. The contracts and exclusions at insurancewarranty.com.
If you're woke up, freedom means you can chart your own course, cut your own path, live your own life. You can rise and fall on your own merits without the government being intertwined in every single personal decision that you make. That's what it means to be free, and that's what it means to be an American on the 250th birthday of this nation. The Woke Up Majority, weekdays from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot. Freedom never gets old. From the Fox News radio studios in Midtown Manhattan, giving you opinions and facts with a positive outlook. It's Brian Kilmeade.
I'm so glad you're there. It's a lot going on. The president's going to be in New York City today. He's going to go to Trump Tower and kick off the final weekend of the World Cup, which he brought, along with FIFA. Said, okay, run it. It's been better than anyone thought. I think that Andrew Giuliani deserves a lot of credit for that, too. And all the venue operators. And FIFA knows how to run things, let's be honest. Whatever you want to say about them costs too much. He thought the tickets were too expensive. They like to control too often. People say there's corruption around it. I haven't seen it this time around. I think the biggest controversy is going to be the VAR and how you use videotape replay. But that's for a different time. Shannon Green standing by. Tommy Laren's going to be with us at the bottom of the hour. So let's bring in Shannon now. Shannon, will you, for one, be sad when the World Cup comes to an end?
I don't know if they would for an Irish fest.
100%. And listen, I was not a huge soccer fan. Please forgive me. I know it is the center of your life. But the World Cup has definitely won me over. I mean, the excitement. I got to go to the matches. I mean, it's just, I'm, not soccer's number one fan, but I've definitely been moved into the I will watch this moving forward column.
That's nice. So it's going to come to an end on Sunday. You going to be doing your show from there?
I'm not doing my show from there, but we are going to check in with Jonathan Hunt, who will be there. We hope the weather improves for you guys.
They're going to have corned beef sandwich, bangers,
amazing
mash,
good. Yeah, Jonathan Hunt was very, he was saying,
fish and chips.
Coming up, I go, what network? And he said Fox, and I said, do you know the person?
Reuben pierogies. Ooh, that sounds good.
I don't know Shannon Green.
Listen, I don't know if you should brag about that, count that as a plus or a minus. I mean, not everybody's going to put that in the win column for you.
It's a plus, but I'll be at that game too, doing some coverage on Fox and Friends. It's a cable outfit. Yes, and then hopefully we'll see a good game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. How nice of it to get this game over with early so we don't have to stay up late at night for people who do morning shows.
I mean, you get up at 2:30, and I think that it's awesome. Or maybe earlier than that.
Well, they have a whiskey tasting, but it's at 5:45. I'm not going to make it there in time.
That you were able to get the game in the afternoon.
Yeah, I got a great book.
The rest of the country for doing
it's like $30, I think.
My face, it really didn't look out too good. But we'll see how that goes.
I have often given you red cards.
Right, which you sit me out for 2 days, which comes off my personal time, which doesn't work out.
Well, listen, then you're doing 10 less jobs than the normal 50 you do every week.
I'm sure they'll have it available just to get, but I mean, they have like a...
I love this military plan we're putting together to stop talking to Iran. I found the MOU is a train wreck, and I feel as though the only thing they understand is something no other president's done, and that is systematically, physically, militarily open the strait. That's what they're in the process of doing. But by the time you hop on the air on Sunday, at least Sunday night, are we going to see the Houthi rebels trying to close the Red Sea?
Yeah, that's a great question because obviously it seems like the concentrated strikes that we're doing right now are aimed at cutting off the ROGC's ability to restaff, resupply, because they're the in this whole thing. Obviously, you control the strait. Iran has enormous leverage. But you're right. I mean, do the Houthis try to get in on this act and come at it from another angle? Because if you can control those, then their leverage is gone and the conversation is over.
Yeah, I want you to hear what Jack Keane told me this morning about the Houthis getting involved, and he's almost saying, I dare you, let them try to do that, because he doesn't feel it's going to be profitable for them. Here's what he told me this morning, and that is cut number 6.
We came close to taking just about everything away from the Houthis once before.
I've never been to this fairground before. I know parking's free, so that's cool.
They were willing to stop interfering.
You would think
with the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, which the Mandab leads to it. And they know full well what's coming if they attempt to do this. And it would likely bring the Israelis back into this in major combat operations again. So that's their choice to make, certainly. But we can deal with that if they execute that.
So he's saying don't panic if it happens. Now, immediately, the price of a barrel of oil could double, but he thinks we could just wipe them out because we almost did the last time. Now, think about it. Why aren't the Houthis involved already? What do they have to lose? If they felt impervious, they would have been rocking everybody. There's got to be a reason.
Well, and the thing is, this has gone on for decades. This funding that flows into Iran or allowing them to evade sanctions in some cases, waivers, those kinds of things. Where does this money go? To all of their proxies. And that just means that they have built a network across the region and beyond. I mean, they have the ability to strike other places too, that is on...
Oh, I don't know why that always goes out when we look at my security camera.
In no way will we allow the United States, as a foreign regional country, to interfere in the Strait of Hormuz. This is Iran's inviolable red line.
This might be more valuable than a nuclear weapon, and guess what? We're interfering in the Strait of Hormuz. We've already turned around 3 ships and took out 1. We're telling them they can't trade anymore. Yesterday, we took out one of their so-called ghost fleet. So we are sending this message, and I think at first you thought Trump should explain this to everyone. And now I think it's to his advantage. He knows the war is not popular. He thinks it's necessary. I agree with him. But so he thought, I'm going to lowball. I'm just going to do my thing. I'm not going to talk about it. And I think that's smart, just judging by how he wants this over with soon, but he's got to turn up the heat in order to finish it off.
First of all, were you surprised that the Iranian guy's English was so good?
I was. Some people think it's a translator.
Some people do, and some people believe that. Listen, the fact that I think he's trying to do the diplomatic thing. The problem is that even we were trying actively before any of the kinetic action began months ago to do the diplomatic thing, they weren't even willing to come to the table about things like their ballistic missiles, which we now know can reach all these European capitals and go much further than we thought. So, yes, simply have to ask yourself the question, what is the point of diplomacy with them? They're not honest.
Yes.
They're probably not going to stick to these agreements. Then I do think you're right. The president's gotten to this point where, listen, this is the show of force, the total destruction is the only thing that they understand. This has been 47 years of yelling death to America and death to Israel. Again, maybe it's time for change in strategy.
Well, the Iraqi militias, sympathetic to Iran, sponsored by Iran, have put a $10 million bounty on the president's head. We know they have posters in their downtown in Tehran, which has no water, but they have a poster of the president in a casket. And now we're really turning up the heat. I think they're trying to kill. I think they put somebody else on their kill list. It might be, I forgot who it was right now, but not important. But I mean, they're not backing down on their rhetoric and what they want to do. But I also think it's interesting that we're not just doing it we're not just doing it militarily, we're doing it financially. Victoria Coates talked about what the Treasury Secretary is doing, cut 12.
I think that economic piece that you mentioned, that's why what's happening with Iraq is so important. Iraq was their safety valve, as was Dubai. That's all getting cut off. Secretary Bessent is going after all of those sort of luxuries of Iran, connecting into the international financial network through its partners and allies, or through its partners in the region. That's now all going away. And so what we see, it's not just going to be a game here of days and weeks, but what we see in Iran over the next, what we might say, year and a half, might be very similar to what we saw at the end of the Soviet Union. So let's keep an eye on that.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a critical piece of the puzzle. And the sad thing is that we know it affects the people of Iran, and the message is constantly, listen, we're not about that. We want to free you from this theocratic, dictatorship nightmare that you're living in. But the sanctions often hurt real people before they really start to hurt the people at the top. But the minute you give waivers and the minute you take your foot off the gas on that, it is the same story over and over again with them rearming, reconfiguring, propping up their proxies in an endless cycle that you got to go on all fronts, and it seems like this administration is willing to do that.
So who do you have on Sunday?
So we've got bipartisan senators joining us to talk about all this stuff. We've got Katie Britt and Gene Shaheen. There are a lot of places on foreign policy where they do overlap, and they're working on this Russian sanctions bill that was to be Lindsey Graham's legacy at this point. So we'll talk with them about where the potential off-ramps are, how this thing ends. We've also got Congressman Mike McCall, who's just been in Ukraine and was ordered a special medal by President Zelensky. Is he going to be kind of the Zelensky whisperer in the interim while we figure out who comes next and kind of that special role that Lindsey Graham was playing?
Yeah, we had Mike McCall on last weekend from Kyiv, and we had to readjust the interview because then we found out someone Graham passed away, which was just stunning. I thought did you think the sanctions bill was coming up this week? Is it going to come up next week?
I think it's probably next week, and there's been talk about whether Iran gets added into that mix, and everything is so difficult to get done through the Hill, and I think that they really want to get this thing done in a bipartisan way that would honor what Graham was trying to do. So I think that they're going to thread that needle really carefully, probably in the next few days.
All right, Shannon Bream, thanks so much. We're going to be watching. Yes, Sunday night, but first I'm going to be covering the World Cup, and you're going to have that on your show, right?
Are you wearing a soccer outfit?
You think I should? You think I should? Pretend like I'm in the game?
But who's your team?
My team lost in the round of 16. I'm this pro-American guy, you know.
I mean, I'm saying now that you're down to these two. Can you pick, or is it too?
I'd like to see Argentina win, but Spain is the better team.
Okay.
All right.
Well, if you consider Argentina the underdog, I don't know that they can't be. They're so good. That's who I'll go with because I like an upset. I like a surprise.
All right. Listen, Shannon, good luck for introducing yourself to your husband because I know he's been in my hand for 3 weeks. Go get him. All right. Listen, Shannon. Correct? Yes. We are, just a quick note, on One Nation on Sunday night, I'm going to have Mike Rowe on. I want to talk about these data centers that New York is now banned for at least a year. Really? Okay. I mean, you could have some demands, like they have their own power source, like they make sure they don't abuse the water table. But why ban them? You stop plumbers, pipe fitters, and electricians from getting jobs and all these other blue-collar jobs. And also, if you want to be part of an enterprising economy, why not be part of the next industrial revolution? But other states are having problems. I think 40% of the new data centers are now under protest. So I want to get the reality on that. I also want to talk about the latest with Iran with the chairman of foreign relations over on the House side, Brian Mast. I think many people think he'd be a great Secretary of State too. I want to talk about the plan that's put in place militarily and if he thinks it'll be effective as an Army guy. We're also going to have Brian Johnson on. Brian Johnson, the guy that wants to live forever, not die, and he found out he has a terminal illness. He's doing all these extraordinary experiments for longevity. We'll talk to him about that. You might have heard of him. I think you have. I'm pretty sure you have. Anyway, and then Tommy Laren's going to be joining us too, as well as Rob Blagojevich, to talk about the corruption in Chicago, what he went through, and what's happening right now. He also was let out of prison, got pardoned by Donald Trump. He's a Democrat. He was some Brian Kilmeade show back in
Real talk, real guests, real insight. Where curiosity meets conversation. It's the Brian Kilmeade Show. Some folks tell me even my name, is a whole vibe. I specialize in fun, and so does Shaggy's Bombastic Radio. Breeze through your day on a channel with classic and new Caribbean music. My music, and so much more. With love to you from me, Shaggy. Shaggy's Bombastic Radio, channel 332 on most radios, or listen at home on the SiriusXM app. Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Visit aquablation.com. Aquablation.com. That's aquablation.com. Visit aquablation.com. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, urinary symptoms, mild pain, infection, or less frequently, urethral or rectal injury, or ejaculatory dysfunction. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. If you're a business owner who's tired of banks dragging their feet, mountains of paperwork, and loan decisions based on your credit score, listen up. Signet does business funding differently. Big banks care about forms, FICO scores, and waiting weeks for answers. Signet cares about one thing: your revenue. If your business is bringing in consistent income, you can qualify fast. No endless paperwork, no red tape, and you're working with real people who actually understand small business, not some automated system. To qualify, you need to have been in business at least 1 year and average $50,000 a month in revenue or more. If that's you, Signet can show you funding options in minutes. Just go to signetfunding.com. That's SIGNET funding.com. Again, signetfunding.com. No cost, no obligation. Just a quick application to see if you qualify. Fast funding, real people. Built for business owners. When you're a small business owner, you're always looking for the next big thing. Whether you're a gym owner looking to expand, store stocking up for a busy season, or a restaurant owner planning a new menu, you'll always need capital to grow. But traditional banks are making it harder than ever to secure a small business loan. That's why thousands of business owners trust Cardiff for same-day funding. Their online application takes less than 5 minutes and won't impact your personal credit score. With over 2 decades of expertise, it's no surprise business owners keep voting Cardiff America's favorite small business lender. If you've been operating for at least a year and are earning at least $20,000 a month in revenue, apply now for up to $500,000 in same-day business funding at cardiff.co/SXM. Again, that's cardiff.co/SXM. Cardiff, borrow better. Maybe this is YouTube. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted, it works, it's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years.
It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-40-BIBLE. That's 855-40-BIBLE. 855-40-BIBLE. The first time in the history of mankind, a clean slate, a nation was born. During the Revolutionary period, the most important philosopher was John Locke. John Locke talked about sovereignty, the sovereignty of the individual, the consent of the governed, representative government. Almost got him killed. After all, he lived under a monarchy. The Mark Levin Show, weekdays starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot. Freedom never gets old. He's so busy, he'll make your head spin. It's Brian Kilmeade.
And as long as we continue to do that, you make that official. You make that part of our platform. That's my red line in the Democratic Party. And now you look at the number of people, I'm not surprised by that vote, but for me, that's honestly what I expected.
So that's what he's talking about, 103 or 102 Democrats in the House, not Hakeem Jeffries, but his whip, voted to defund Israel. Now, they're in the minority, but they could be in the majority come, win the election in November and take over in January. And that's what they're going to try to do. And, of course, the president will have to wheel and deal. And I don't know what's going to be happening there. But that's why the prime minister came out of Israel and said we have to learn to manufacture our own weapons. I don't see it lasting in America much longer. Now, Republicans are on board. Senator Fetterman says, if this continues, I'm going to do something extreme. Listen.
My long-term concern has been with the Democratic Party, as I am a member of that, is that our party is going to back away and turn their back to Israel. If our party ever becomes, and just make it official, as the anti-Israel party, that's when I would leave, because that's been a moral clarity for me.
This is when you look around. You know how many horrible things have happened over a number of years in Syria? When's the last time you saw a protest about human rights in Syria and the brutality of Assad? When's the last time you saw any problems about how Christians were being persecuted in Nigeria, or some of the unrest in the killing of 40,000 innocent civilians over in Iran? And you walk down the street and you see people protesting because these horrible things going on in these countries. They don't happen. But for some reason, the Palestinian situation, when they were giving Gaza and part of the West Bank, if you ask Bill Clinton, the Oslo Accords gave West Bank and Gaza to the Palestinians with a land bridge connecting both. Yet they wouldn't sign off on it. And then that became a terror haven, and then the eruption, the attack on October 7th that cost over 1,000 lives. So that's how we got here. Now we have people saying, I feel bad for the Palestinians. What is your connection to fully understanding the region?
Sorry,
It's
connection. It's a good chat.
Now you want to blame Israel, and it's rippling through colleges. Hakeem Jeffries did not vote yet.
Yeah, it looked like cattle shoots the construction area there.
And the Dear Colleague letter that I sent to the caucus, I laid out the position that I believe we as House Democrats will take as we move forward, anchored in several different principles, including support for Israel's right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state and homeland for the Jewish people, and at the same time, pressing the urgent need to establish an independent Palestinian state that allows the Palestinian people to live with dignity, respect, and self-determination. And that needs to be dealt with urgently.
Has he asked the Palestinian people? Because they want one state, and that's without Israel. They don't want the two-state solution. Hamas is still in control. They're in the process of being axed out. It would be great to get some support after the hostage deal was done.
Like my old
follow through with other people besides Jared and Steve Witkoff, who can't do everything and shouldn't be.
That looks like my old Trailblazer, and it's coming from the dealership that we traded it to. That's nuts. They must have auctioned it off.
And then Ro Khanna went there and had an incident at the West Bank, looks totally manufactured, would not coordinate with the government, went there and was confronted by settlers. Cut 22.
No way.
Ro Khanna,
I'm going to slow down and look at it closer.
the new Democratic policy to be. Cut 22.
I am voting yes on the Massey Amendment to zero out all aid to Israel. This includes zero aid for offensive or defensive weapons. I just don't see how the United States can support aid to a state that has committed genocide. And frankly, I do not see how we can continue to support a state that dictates.
I swear that looked just like it, and it has the dealership that I went to.
Total theater.
Bracket on it.
He's ridiculous. A chameleon. One thing about Bernie Sanders, not
and this is not catching me. I'm going 2 miles under the limit.
change. But this guy is ridiculous.
I mean, it's not that big a deal. I just think it's fucking hilarious that I passed it. Almost in Cleveland.
He's now appearing with the son, Piker, a despicable podcaster who loves the Cuban government and hates ours, wants Rick Scott killed. And then he goes over there and theatrically says he's detained by West Bank settlers. What a joke. And now he says you don't replenish the Iron Dome, just let rockets destroy central Israel. Sickening. If you guys if any left-wing Democrats listening to us right now, if you give this guy a vote or think for a second that he's presidential material, knowing he stands for nothing except for trying to get elected, you are
pulling off
to destroy the country. All right, when we come back, Tony Laren joins us. She's getting set to co-host the big weekend show from 5 to 8 Saturday and Sunday. And we got one.
I don't know why he's got his turning signal on.
And don't forget, coming up on October 17th, I'll be doing the Uniting the States tour in Westbury Music Fair, right in Long Island, as well as Red Bank, New Jersey, the day before the 16th. BrianKilmeade.com for tickets.
We live in the single best, greatest country God ever gave. Man, in your quiet, more reflective moments, you think of the sacrifice, the gifts so many have sacrificed for our liberty, our freedom. What a blessing this is. I gotta say this. Thank God we live in the best country ever. And happy 250th birthday to the United States of America.
The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot.
He's getting off at this exit. Oh well.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check, annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Joe McDowell, founder of
that had to be it.
For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare.
How far into the... So about a minute, 18 seconds or so? Or, I mean, an hour and 18 minutes?
Your maintenance fees would never go up. That's a lie. Are you ready?
Not downtown. Not Maple Heights.
Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-848-1331. That's 800-848-1331. 800-848-1331.
Guys, it's hot out there, which means you need the perfect short sleeve styles from UNTUCKit now on sale. Get our top button downs from $68, polos for $58, and tees for $30. Every fit, every fabric made to breathe through the dog days of summer. Like our performance bestsellers, no wrinkles, no sweat through mess, no tuck required. 15 years, 15 million shirts sold, and we're still the best in the game. Beat the heat with our short sleeve sale going on now at UNTUCKit.com. More than 80 stores nationwide. UNTUCKit, shirts designed to be worn, untucked.
My name is Preston James. I've been a stock and options trader for 23 years. I used to be an active swing trader, but that all changed once I discovered my Money Press weekly paycheck method. These days, I'm a passive trader, hauling in more cash while being able to sleep at night than I ever dreamed possible. I'm passionate about the market, and I like to keep it simple. My methods are changing thousands of lives, and I'm confident it can change yours. But let the proof do the talking. By going to accountproof.com, that's accountproof.com, you'll see a 7-minute video revealing how my Money Press method grew a $54,000 account to $174,000 in less than 9 months. That works out to 5.8% per week. You'll see the proof right inside my real brokerage account. This isn't about overnight riches, but once you discover this for yourself, you can start on the same path overnight. You're 7 minutes away from changing everything you thought you knew about trading and investing. Go to accountproof.com to get started. That's accountproof.com.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-651-5982 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance.
Yeah, weird.
Rental options at no additional cost.
That reminds me, I got to go get his new car registered.
651-5982. That's 800-651-5982.
Trying to do it Monday.
What do you have to lose? Call 800-651-5982. 5982. It used to be that stuffing tissues up your nose was really the only way to stop your messy, frustrating nosebleeds. Tampons are the doctor-recommended better option that over 3 million people have already discovered. So what's a tampon? Tampons fit inside your nose perfectly, expand for gentle pressure, and even have a clotting agent clinically proven to stop the bleeding fast. And now tampons are available at Walmart. So ditch the tissue and be prepared for your next nosebleed. Pull into Walmart right now and get tampons in the first aid aisle. Celebrating American 258 reasons and Patriot 125. Information you want, truth you demand. This is the Brian Kilmeade Show.
We're envisioning something more like a prime minister, which is the real head of state or the real executive power in most other developed countries. I don't like using that term, willy-nilly, but if we're talking about what actually is democratic and what actually is common sense, it makes a lot more sense to have that, especially when we know that the president has had the ability to, ever since Iraq, actually, to the ability to arrogate to itself this power that is essentially we can have a paramilitary force that only responds to the president. That's fascism.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Michaela Brannigan. She is the chairman of the DSA, National Political Education Committee, and she said,
Psycho
president, we also know
California plate.
No Senate. That would be interesting. Of course, many of these others say no prisons. It's going to be a great country. I just don't know what country they'd like to lead. With me right now is Tommy Laird, co-host of the Big Weekend Shows on 5 to 8 Saturday and Sunday. Also host of Outkick's Tommy Laird is Fearless, which I know is true. So, Tommy, is it amazing to you that the DSA is not only proud of their impact, now they're outlining their whole agenda? They also want to defund the military.
Yeah. Well, when you were playing that, I thought that was Kamala because it was a bunch of word salad and speaking in a circle. I was trying to decipher what she was actually trying to say there, and it took a minute because it was as clear as mud, as they say. I don't really think
hey, PDF, can you
they just want to watch everything burn. I don't think they love this country. I think they would love to see this country fail.
Say hi and rumble.
Well-intentioned morons, I'm sure, but a lot of them just hate everything America stands for, and they want to rebuild it in the image of a third world nation. And it's up to us to prevent them from doing so. They're well on their way, though, here in New York City and elsewhere.
So do you think that Mondami is the beginning or the end?
Oh, it's the beginning. It's the beginning because it has to play out. And I'm one of those people who, maybe because I don't live here full time, so sorry to you, but I'm one of those people that I think we have to let it play out in places like this. Let this be the testing ground for it. Here, maybe Los Angeles, Minneapolis, let them try this experiment. Don't bail them out. And I'm sorry for everybody, all the good people that have to be here, but it's got to play out. Because if you go in and you rescue the cities that are turning towards the socialism and the communism, then no one actually understands that it's a failure. It's a failed strategy. So you've got to let it fail.
So my fear is this is the beginning, and the goal is to have federal power and take these ridiculous ideas and have suddenly federal ideas, and that's what worries me. So the 20-somethings evidently not happy. The economy doesn't give them as much opportunity. I could think of every generation. There's always some type of struggle, something going on, a war, a pandemic,
See you, bud.
a recession. So Louisiana Purchase caused a recession. We shouldn't have done it. Double the size of the country. Was that it? Did we blame anybody for that?
This irritates me to no end when I hear that young people are, disenfranchised by this economy. Is that partially true?
Yeah,
Yes,
the events at the Cuyahoga Fairgrounds.
When you see those same people who say,
Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds in Berea or Middleburg.
From Starbucks. You see them taking fancy vacations where they document all their
We actually went to a golf tournament here last summer.
They're going to use all their PTO. They're going to go to Greece. They're going to go to Mykonos. They're going to go all these places. They want to go to Erewhon and buy a $12 tonic water. They sit on their cell phone and make TikTok videos. And they say, but you know what? It's not fair to me because I can't afford a house. I don't know about you, Brian, but my parents, when they were just starting out, they had nothing. They had to work hard. They had to save money. They didn't go out to eat. They didn't splurge on vacations. They saved money so they could afford a house. So these young people, and many of them are millennials, most of them are Gen Z, saying, "Oh, we can't afford things." No, you can't afford everything that you want.
Right. Yeah, at one point. But here's the also thing: not earning it and then blaming others and taking their money. Are you encouraged by the fact Washington State, for example, has a wealth tax? They put on the ballot, which is in the will. There's enough signatures, enough support. Now they get to vote to get rid of it because they already saw that they lost Starbucks. Going to Tennessee. And now others are lining up to go. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to pay an extra 9% because they're successful as companies and as individuals. And now they put on the ballot to rescind it. I love that.
Thank you.
Will it be successful? I don't know. You have to hope that the fair-minded people outnumber the people who just think, oh, yes, the rich should pay more. How many voters are out there who maybe don't work, maybe work very little, maybe would love to be taken care of? How many of those people are voting? How many of those people are encouraged to register to vote and then vote? You have to hope that the people who actually have a stake in the economy and having a good paying job from a lot of these companies, you have to hope that they outnumber the people who want something for free.
Quite a bit younger than you.
Places, do they? I guess we'll see, but I don't have a lot of optimism.
So the president's speech last night, he mentioned that they got rid of transgenderism or trans for everybody. There's a little exchange with a doctor that took place on Capitol Hill this week. It was flat out astounding. It was Representative Mary Miller, a Republican from Illinois, asking Dr. Sam how good you think he's chancellor of the University of California, San Francisco, and the medical school. A very simple medical question.
Has a non-biological woman ever had a baby?
A transgender person can.
That's not a biological woman. Has a non-biological woman ever had a baby?
I would reiterate,
it's ridiculous.
We take care of transgender.
Okay,
This went on. I mean, we wouldn't answer the question.
They know the answer, though, Brian. They just don't want to upset the very vocal minority of people who have this as their bread and butter issue. Transgender for all. Men can be women. Women can be men. Cut off body parts at age 6. And they don't want to offend those people. They know good and well.
Yeah, Tuesday's the anniversary, the 26th anniversary of my dad's passing.
This, that, and the other, but they will not offend that very vocal minority.
The man who raised me.
Especially California, because a lot of their fundraising and a lot of their
My dad.
depend on that religious issue to them, which is LGBTQ. That's their religion.
But is it still, didn't Trump give them an off ramp by telling them we're going to war with DEI or pulling back from this and transgenders, and they see it as a 90-10 issue. I thought that this was going to be the green light for scientists, people in the medical profession, to take the off-ramp.
No, because this for them is a religion. They are never going to let it go. Woke never went away. It went dormant for a while, but you're going to see it come roaring back because now they're capitalizing on maybe some discontent with Trump and the economy, and they're going to bring back all the woke.
Oh.
It's not like they're just bringing in the socialism stuff. All the woke is going to come along with it, which makes no sense when you have someone like a Mamdani.
One thing, though, he was a hell of a patriot. At least he didn't have to see the decline this country's gone through since about then. Ever since he never saw what happened on 9/11.
Here on Rikers and K2 are on New York City. The World Cup has been a magical moment for the entire city. These are New Yorkers, and they will be New Yorkers when they get out of Rikers. They're New Yorkers today, and I want to make sure that we can celebrate this moment together.
Your thoughts about him doing that?
You know, I wonder about all the people that are impacted by the folks at Rikers and whatever they did. You know, the way Mamdani talks about them is just they just ended up there, right? They didn't do anything to end up there.
Wrong turn.
Yeah, they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and oh shucks, they ended up
Storming there.
So he must comfort them. What about the families of the people that they murdered, raped, assaulted?
Marion.
They did. What about those families and their comfort in the World Cup, right? But this is what he does over and over. They want these people among us. I guess at least they're honest about it. They want them all out, and he wants to close it down. He wants them all out on the street. There's not a single person that these far left wackos want to keep in custody. They want them all out.
One just got elected on that platform.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to say about that. When you talked before about where do kids go if they want to buy a house, you know, in places like North Dakota is one of the fastest growing cities, especially for young people. You know why? They make it possible to afford a house.
Mm-hmm.
They make you get more for your money. So you could do that if your job is portable and you're starting.
Let me check the radar.
There are places you can do these things.
Well, and I'm from South Dakota, and we just have a budget surplus, I think, of about $70 million.
Right.
So South Dakota can do it, North Dakota can do it, Wyoming, Montana, all these other places. There's a lot of other states that can do it, that offer a lot. I would say my home state of Tennessee right now, Nashville. I mean, we're courting Paramount. Come to Tennessee. Starbucks came to Tennessee. I mean, everything is moving to the places where money is treated best, and that brings opportunity.
So we're going to watch you from 5 to 8 on Saturday, Sunday. But first, next in 15 minutes, you're doing what?
I'm going down to Outnumbered.
And what's going to be your lead story? Do you even know yet? Or are you prepared for anything?
We are prepared for anything.
Yeah, most of it looks like it's going on.
Listen, we're not supposed to
above
say
and below us. You're right.
We're not supposed to say diarrhea, but we're going to be talking about it.
That's a good tease.
But we will not be talking about it using the term diarrhea, so I have to say it as many times here,
right,
so that I don't say it down there.
Come on, dude, I'm letting you get by.
On that. You could
roll up on my fucking ass.
Listen,
Let me slow
they
down.
said no using that word there, so I figured with Brian Kilmeade, it's safe. We can go. We can say the D word.
Check out Tommy all weekend long and on Outkick. Tommy, thanks so much. You can say whatever you want here, unlike that other show.
Illuminating, intriguing, inculcating. I know some of these words. It's Brian Kilmeade.
Baby, it's hot outside. Cool things down and celebrate Christmas in July with Holly. Merry Christmas to you. Merry and bright holiday hits from Mariah, Kelly, Ed, and more. Merry Christmas, everyone. Christmas in July with Holly. Channel 300 for a limited time and wherever you stream with the Sirius XM app.
So your next 5 minutes could be your most productive 5 minutes in years, at least when it comes to your finances anyway. That's all it takes to find out exactly how much you'll save joining MediShare versus what you're paying now for healthcare. It's very typical for people to find out they can save hundreds a month, thousands a year. The typical family saves up to $500 a month. And healthcare sharing is different for sure. It's refreshing, different. We know from member surveys, people love saving the money, of course, but they also just like MediShare more than what they were doing before their healthcare costs. And it's not a new thing. It's been proven for more than 30
years, hundreds of thousands of Americans are part of this. So call them now. They are great to talk to, and very quickly you'll see how we can save. You can get your questions answered. Your next 5 minutes can mean saving hundreds a month, month after month. And here is the number. Call 844-57-BIBLE. That's 844-57-BIBLE. 844-57-BIBLE.
You can argue opinions all day long, but you can't argue results. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, your founder of Rough Greens. And for years, the big pet food companies have told you that their kibble has everything your dog needs. But here's the truth. That bag of food is cooked at such high temperatures, it's dead food. And when you feed dead food day in and day out, the fallout is itchy skin, achy joints, low energy, and
part of it.
Trips to the vet. But when you add Rough Greens, you get the live vitamins, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and antioxidants that your dog needs. It's not marketing hype. That's real results. Senior dogs are running around like puppies. Skin problems, finally finding relief. And even the pickiest eaters are licking their bowl clean. That's proof the industry can't deny. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to see it for yourself. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag.
Oh, go on.
Shit.
50% better. And now he barely notices any pain. Loves our customer service. He's so happy, he's spreading the word. And Mark is just one of many. I'm one of them. I take Relief Factor every single morning for back issues. I don't take Relief Factor, my issues come back. They make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor gave you your life back. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. Or call 800-4RELIEF, 800 the number 4RELIEF. You'll connect with our friendly local team, and they will do everything they can to help. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us as well. Relieffactor.com, 800 the number 4RELIEF.
Is the longest running constitution in the history of the world. There's no reason we can't exceed that record and keep going. America 250 is a promise of a better future because of an evolution of a great nation to where we are today. The David Webb Show, weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot. Freedom never gets old. From his mouth to your ears, it's Brian Kilmeade.
Would you be for expanding the number of teams involved?
Absolutely. As it was proven this time, there was a lot of criticism beforehand that countries that weren't up to it were going to be coming in. Well, most of them really played very well, played competitively, scared the heck out of some of the big teams. But most importantly, if FIFA's mission is to spread the sport around the world, you now have a few countries that have a stake in it, if you will, and also will have some financial benefit from it to grow the sport. And 64 in some ways is cleaner because you're getting the third place teams going on into the knockout round.
Yeah, that would be pretty bright.
So he's for it. It's more money too. But I will say this: more games to win.
Wow, this guy's coming way too fast.
And in theory, a lot of guys get banged up in those games. It can really wear you out as opposed to a shorter trip. But I'm fine with that.
Minnesota plays where Pennsylvania plays.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
She's in a hurry.
Different countries next time. So they're spreading out the wealth, and we'll see how the time shift will be. I hope Fox is able to retain it. That's my fear, because now the streamers coming in with the big money, they start blowing everybody out. I hope people can. I hope Fox finds it feasibly reasonable to be able to afford it. About the matchup itself, Argentina against Spain. Spain comes in European champions, Argentina World Cup champions, and Argentina, I think, comes in as the underdog. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is one of the fantastic stars to emerge from the commentator desk, a great player in his day. He knows what it's like to play against Argentina. He brought that perspective yesterday. We thought we'd bring it back. Cut 32.
I played and I played against and with, so they play with a lot of emotion. They're passionate people, players, and when you play against them, you feel them. They're aggressive. They provocate you. You gotta keep cool, and they always keep 100%. He's loyal. He's a loyal players, and when you have them with you, you know they're gonna do their job. You know they're gonna fight for you and fight for themselves. So it's not easy to play against them. But my thing was, when you smash me, I'm gonna smash you back.
Yeah, he's a physical player, and he's very cocky, and that came across on camera. Him and Alexi Lau is too great, and Thierry Henry has been fantastic. He used to be on the Red Bulls, but he also played for Barcelona. Dan Dakic, who's a general sports guy who's really getting into soccer on Outkick, he talked about the fact is people are going to bet on this game, and people are betting. It has a lot to do with, I think, the ratings. That's fine. I think between betting, the sports betting, and I think are the two most negative things that happened fundamentally in our country, legalizing both pervasively over the last 25 years. Here's Dan Dakic on what he expects in the final cut 31.
Hey, I'm not betting against Messi. You better play the full 90 whatever plus minutes because Messi, you mentioned it in the introduction, man. Messi shows up late. Got a chance Argentina does to be the third team ever to go back-to-back. I'm taking Messi. Spain is terrific, though. Spain's defense is unprecedented. You mentioned the ball control. They don't turn it over.
Yeah, so their defense only let up one goal, but they did get tied by Cape Verde early on. And we'll see what happens if Argentina does something they haven't done lately, and that's score early and force Spain to go forward a little bit in order to go for a goal. That leaves a vulnerability in the counterattack. But I overall believe that I hope Argentina finds a way to win. I think Spain wins. When they took I saw France play, and they looked so good. I was at Giant Stadium there for the game, and they won handily against Croatia, and it was just toying with them. Wow. And they got some world-class players there. And then for France to lose 2-0, and I watched that game, and I thought they were dominated systematically, unsensationally, but consistently by Spain. They win 2-0 in the semifinal. Now there's going to be
doing 10 over. People are going by me like I'm standing still.
There's a third place game. It's going to be England against France, and that'll be a great game. So see if England can rehab themselves. It means a lot of money. Now the winning team gets $50 million. So I imagine they'd probably get maybe $10 million each from the third place game. So there's incentive to win that game. I know everyone will be watching. That'll be big news, but not as big at 3:00 the next day. So that'll be important. So we'll see what happens. In terms of what the president's doing today, the president's going to be rallies around the trophy, and then you get enveloped in it. Not good. So the FIFA president should give it to the FIFA president, or vice versa, who gives it to the captain.
We are a kind people. We are hardworking people.
Periscoping again.
Country on the planet.
And I think people love it. I don't think anyone's going to host better. I think the stadiums get 70,000 people, and they're all over the place. People want to actually come here, and they want to play. So I'll be out there. And my prediction, again, Spain's going to win, but Argentina, I'm idiot for them because I'd like to
hitting the brakes
on top. My hope is that when the 39-year-old Lionel Messi comes here at 35 and then takes the field at 39, and they said, you go back to Major League Soccer, your game's going to drop because the quality of play, your opponents and teammates are going to drop. That's why you never go to America, and that's wrong. What happened is David Beckham went over to Real Madrid after leaving Los Angeles, played a high level, and then you have Messi come back and have the fantastic tournament he had at the age of 39 years old. It shows you can come to America. It might not be the Premier League yet, but your game does not have to fall. What was also cautioned to me too is don't want too many international superstars, because the goal is really to grow some American players. I think 22 Major League Soccer players were in this tournament. Hopefully there'll be a lot more. Meanwhile, quick note, coming up on One Nation on Sunday night, I got Mike Rowe is going to be with us leading off. I'm going to talk to Brian Mast about what the way forward is when it comes to Iran. I love the military plan that we have together now. I think it's been remarkably effective, and I think it's going to be a major breakthrough soon. I want to find out what he thinks about that. Brian Johnson is a guy who wants to live forever, never die. He has a terminal illness. How's that going to affect his longevity experiments? And, of course, Tommy Lahren is going to bring us the media moments that really matter. And Rob Blagojevich, why Donald Trump got him out of office later.
One of my favorite descriptions of an American comes from the French word, de Tocqueville, in Democracy in America, 1831. He said, while the Europeans build these fancy boats, and they have their veteran mariners, the American boats are fast. And I was the best. In that way for hundreds of years. The more we tap into that, even stronger we can be.
Breitbart News Daily with Mike Slater. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot. Freedom never gets old.
My name is Preston James. I've been a stock and options trader for 20. My money press weekly paycheck method. These days, I'm a passive trader hauling in more cash while being able to sleep at night than I ever dreamed possible. I'm passionate about the market and I like to keep it simple. My methods are changing thousands of lives and I'm confident they can change yours. But let the proof do the talking. By going to accountproof.com, that's accountproof.com, you'll see a 7-minute video revealing how my money press method grew a $54,000 account to $174,000 in less than 9 months. That works out to 5.8% per week. You'll see the proof right inside my real brokerage account. This isn't about overnight riches, but once you discover this for yourself, you can start on this same path overnight. You're 7 minutes away from changing everything you thought you knew about trading and investing. Go to accountproof.com to get started. That's accountproof.com.
What's the most disruptive, dangerous weather threat on the golf course, the water, hiking, or watching the game? Yeah, it's lightning. Flash AI, the world's only lightning prediction app, generates revolutionary lightning forecasts that update every 2 minutes. You'll get alerts about an approaching or developing storm up to an hour before lightning strikes nearby. Flash is amazingly accurate and only $3.99 a month. Go to your app store and put lightning protection in your hands today.
Never gets old. Celebrating America 250. SiriusXM Patriot 125.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Mary Rose. The U.S. military is reporting the first U.S. troop death from direct Iranian
That cloud does not look
since
good.
the war's early days. 2 were killed and 1 is missing after an attack on a base in Jordan on Friday. Iran's supreme leader warns of unforgettable lessons if the U.S. continues its attacks, and Tehran says it has suspended its commitments to the interim deal signed with the U.S. And the battle is intensifying over the Strait of Hormuz.
Video from U.S. Central Command showing the launching of strikes and warplanes taking off, aimed at infrastructure and military targets in Iran. U.S. Central Command saying they were the 7th straight night of strikes. The most significant damage was in Kuwait, where sirens sounded. Kuwaiti authorities say Iran struck a water desalination plant and an oil facility, injuring several people. Iraq says it shot down attack drones, and Jordan's state-run Petra news agency says the kingdom's air defense system downed Iranian missiles. I'm Donna Water.
The World Cup final is about to get a helping hand from a big weather system.
Meteorologists say smoke from the Canadian wildfires that has engulfed the Northeast in haze is expected to mostly clear from the New Jersey area just in time for the World Cup final on Sunday, thanks to thunderstorms passing through the area. Warnings of unhealthy air quality remain in effect across a wide swath of the United States. Rain and thunder boomed at MetLife Stadium, where the final is taking place. Storm front will largely move the smoke out of the Northeast for the final between Spain and Argentina. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Rescue teams from around the country are descending on Texas to help save hundreds of people from rising floodwaters. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe and may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million.
Tickets already purchased though, so I'm gonna go no matter what. Even if I sit in my car for a bit.
Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085.
I'm sure there's gonna be a place to take cover there.
Term life policy for you, even if you have type 2 diabetes, or overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life.
I don't know. One thing I don't know is if you can bring an umbrella in there.
Term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back for SpaceX.
The company's next Starship test flight is on hold until at least next week, after the latest launch was scrubbed at the last minute. The mega rocket was preparing to blast off from Texas when some of its engines failed to ignite. And without all 33 engines firing, the automatic launch system halted everything amid billowing clouds of smoke and vapor. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk says 2 engines will be replaced with another launch attempt, most likely early next week. Rich Thomason reporting.
An elementary school bus carrying pupils back from an educational tour to a scenic waterfall in Uganda veered off the road and overturned.
We are back.
20 children and 1 adult. Police on Friday said the crash killed at least 20 children. A Scottish runner has set a new world record at a Diamond League meet in London on Saturday. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com.
Stacey, Washington. The founders' principles of natural law, virtue, limited government, those things stand as a wall of protection against centralized government, emotionally driven rule, and this idea that how people feel should dictate policy. That's freedom. That's 250 years of America. May we have 250 more.
Stacey on the Right, weeknights starting at 9 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot.
Freedom never gets old.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. And that's the thing nobody tells you. You think you have more time. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy to get life insurance. You start online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policy as low as $30 a month. Losing my parents, that was in God's hands. Protecting my family, that is mine.
Ethos, because life goes on.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/apply. That's ethos.com/apply. Ethos.com/apply. Paid testimonial. Application times may vary. Online health questions required. Sample rate for a 10-year term life policy for 40-year-old healthy, non-smoking male.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is what students experience. Individual results vary.
All right. That's Sean. Oh. 21 minutes away.
We believe that for the movement to continue, it can't be made. And for that reason, we are suspending campaign operations.
Your endorsement of Senate candidate Graham Plattner in Maine. Do you regret endorsing him?
Yes, I've never been more optimistic than I am today that we have the formula to end this war. Help Ukraine be more lethal. Let those supporting Russia to know it's going to be a price to be paid if you keep doing it.
Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the
The revolution.
Oh shit! It's coming fast, man. Speed limit's only 35.
Inspired solutions for America. Coming up next, our final news roundup and information overload hour.
Right, news roundup and information overload hour. Here's our toll-free telephone number. It's 800-941-SEAN. If you want to be a part of this program, if there was one thing that was drawing me back to this microphone more than any other story last week, I'm not a great vacation person. I'm just not. Linda, true or false? I'm not really good at taking vacations. This was scheduled after America 250, after Mount Rushmore, after going to Washington, D.C. This was my July 4th annual vacation, 1 week that I ended up spending more time working than I ever did before, but that's separate and apart. Linda, you want to weigh in on that or not?
No, I mean, this is, one of those things. It's unfortunate every single time you try to take time, the world blows up, and this was no exception to that rule.
All right, so it's very interesting and how the Democrats were basically caught selling their soul as it relates to Mr. Nazi Tattoo, Graham Plattner, the mocking of the U.S. soldier he didn't deserve to live, and about communists blaming sexual assault victims, on this website used to facilitate extramarital affairs that targeted minors. Has a controversial history with minors. That's a picture with him in the towel.
Yeah, he's
His
Bar Bill's actually wearing a kilt.
For self-pleasure in porta potties, calling white people, rural Maine people, stupid and racist. The very people who wanted to vote for him, using racist stereotypes. That was a big problem. Mocking a teenage girl's suicide attempt, calling cops bastards, among many other things. And on every one of these issues, prominent Democrats, all the way across the board, were supporting him, starting with Bernie Sanders and starting with Pocahontas and Ro Khanna. And there wasn't one Democrat that ever stood up to any of these issues to say, this guy does not belong in our party. This guy is too radical. He is too extreme, because that's not where the party is anymore. The heart and soul of the Democratic Party has been radicalized, and it is now the party of Sanders and Pocahontas and Graham Plattner and Mamdani and AOC and the Squad, and even the likes of Hakeem Jeffries was supporting Graham Plattner, and Chuck Schumer's silence was beyond deafening, just like his silence in the race with Mamdani for mayor of New York City. Deafening, because they want to claim to power, and they know if they dare take on the radicalized base of their party, that their perceived power, the leaders or minority leaders in name only, will be gone, and it will be gone forever. Anyway, this is now who they are. They are a soulless party. Remember, they wouldn't stand for the family.
Yeah, it's got some get up and go.
Rachel Morin, when
that was the front wheels too.
People that lost their children, and they sat on their hands. I said then, they lost their heart, their soul, and their conscience. Now you can take it a step downward. Everything they said, it used to bother them. Things about Justice
These
Kavanaugh,
roads are
for
horrible.
example, things about Clarence Thomas, for example, and there's one example of hypocrisy after another. Roy Moore, we can go all the way back, every controversy that's ever existed, Jim Jordan, etc., everything they've ever said now comes back to haunt them, because they really don't care. It's sort of like how, they care about crime or politicity only when they can weaponize or
I think that's something. So he's got a leather one, so I'm pretty sure that's what he's wearing. But we'll see. I'll definitely take a picture of him.
And dozens of people shot every weekend in Chicago and cities all across the country, blue cities all across the country.
Come on.
Because they can't weaponize it, they can't politicize it, they can't blame Trump. Well, now, none of these other issues they say that they have the moral high ground on is gone and gone forever. Here to weigh in. our close to friends, John McLaughlin and Associates, Matt Towery, Insider Advantage, host of the Leaderboard, his podcast. Anyway, welcome both of you. Let's first get to my analysis and what the polling is showing. John McLaughlin will start with you this time.
Well, the last national poll we released was right before July 4th, and the president had his actually job approval had ticked up a little bit to 50 to 46.
Yeah, he's pretty disgusting.
Which was an improvement, but the Republicans were still trailing in the share ballot for Congress, 46 to 43. So there's like a 7-point gap between Trump's policy approval and where the Republicans are for Congress. And one of the things that we noticed was when we asked them, and this was when the ceasefire, which is now abrogated, but had passed from what they read, what they've seen in the news, do you approve or disapprove of the ceasefire deal? Only 51% of Americans did, but only 34% disapproved. Right instead of cable viewers, people watch your shows, listen to your radio, etc., they supported it 72 to 17, but leftists are opposed 54-35. Because it was Trump's ceasefire. And now,
we'll see.
It's going back to like when we did polls in April, when we asked them, did they approve this through military action to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons? The majority of Americans did 52-40. And was it warranted, justified? 59% agreed. Should we finish the job? 60 to 30, they agreed. Americans don't like going to war, but they understand what this is about. And when we asked in this recent poll survey, which was released right before July 4th, when we said, you approve or disapprove of requiring Iran to stop funding international terrorism against Israel and other nations, 75% to 14% they did. And when we asked them, Iran must agree to never produce nuclear weapons with American and international inspections to verify, 76 to 14 they did. So the vast majority of Americans understand what Trump's trying to do in Iran, that he's trying to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, that he's trying to stop them from increasing terrorism in the region around the world. And, Americans, we may be slow to anger like the president, but it's threatening us. We're going to pay a heavy price, and that's what we're seeing going on right now.
And Terry, let's get your take.
Well, there's not one thing that my colleague friend just said that I disagree with. His polling pretty much tracks what I've seen. I think the following. I think, first of all, as far as the Democrats go, if it's Trump one way or another, whether it's a ceasefire or having to wipe the leaders off the map in Iran, either way, they're not going to like it because it's Donald Trump. We all get that. But I will say that I haven't polled this, but my take, based on all the polling I've done, I did a lot of polling when these things first broke out, Sean, and had basically the same sort of numbers that John had. I believe that Trump has a unique moment now that he can truly continue to dismantle Iran. I think it's very clear that they will never negotiate a settlement. You cannot trust what they say. You can negotiate forever, but all they do is stall for time. And now, in a very strategic manner, which I'm sure they're putting together, it's time to open up the strait. It's time to do what we have to do with the remaining leadership. We don't know who all they are. And it's time that we make it so that this country cannot continue to peddle the harm that they peddle around the world and continue to be a threat. And I think most Americans, in the end, agree with that. Let me add another thing. The Democrats have made one issue. Remember, this is their one issue for about a month and a half, 2 months. That is, the oil prices are too high. And then all of a sudden, we had the MOU, and things started getting better, and the oil was flowing a little better. The prices were coming down. Well, they weren't talking about as much. It hasn't been Donald Trump in the U.S. take control of the strait and get this oil really flowing.
But, from my perspective, there definitely seems to be, and I actually believe to be, a group of moderates that probably would want to hand over the dust, give up their nuclear ambition, rebuild the once former great Persian Empire. You've got 94 million people there that have been suffering for 47 years, but there is a group of hardliners
loyal to the dead former Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who they finally had a funeral for. To me, this is just a huge opening opportunity that puts all past historical trends that favor the party out of power in midterm election years. We're now breaking new ground here. I don't think these old models fit, and I think this is the greatest opportunity that them embracing extremism and selling their soul, which is what they've done and what they're doing, gets them to the promised land as assuredly as they normally might.
Yeah. If I got a decent enough signal, I'll definitely go live again. When Allie's playing, at least for a bit.
And they're picking the wrong side, and you're seeing them nominate candidates, extreme candidates that are coming about. Whether it's the three candidates in Congress that
I'm only about 10 minutes away.
New York support these pro-Hamas terrorists in small Democrat primaries, and they won. And now you're getting Latner and me, but he had to step down, and they won't let it go to a. They won't let it go to a.
This guy's going fast, man. I'm doing 72 in a 60. And look how fast he went by. You go, boy. You get that ticket.
I mean, the Democrat Party is a part of extremists, and the Republicans have a chance to basically.
But now it's Colorado, it's Missouri, it's in Washington State. It's now a cancer that is spread all throughout the Democratic Party and now all parts of the country. So the whole country needs to be aware of this as they prepare to vote. I mean, there was an article of editorial in the New York Post that the
I might just do it from my
America is actually over the
my regular phone to get a better.
And that's why Donald Trump has decided that he.
We'll see which one has the best connection. Man, this storm cloud does not look good though.
Just like we did in Milwaukee, where Donald Trump personally laid down 17 pages of the platform.
Let me take a look at the radar again.
He stands for, of which also was making sure Iran never had nuclear weapons. But he was able to lay out a platform that the majority of Americans would support him, would sweep the battleground states, win the popular vote. And now you're in a midterm election where you have lower turnout. And if we can have a contrast election, so when the Republicans go to Dallas and they say, this is where the Republicans for Congress stand. We're for lower taxes, we're for secure borders, we're for making sure that you have housing is affordable, lower mortgage rates, and we're making it easier.
Well, the thunderstorm watch is in effect till 9 p.m., so that's perfect because that's when she comes on.
They are for higher taxes. They voted for a $4 trillion tax increase. They voted for open borders, sanctuary cities. They're against voter ID. They want to enable fraud in elections. Let's have a contrast election so that our voters can decide in September, October, and November, whenever they decide that they can vote by their different states, that they can see if the majority of Americans agree with the Republican Party who supports Donald Trump versus those who oppose Donald Trump and really oppose what the majority of Americans stand for.
All right, quick break, right back. More of the pollsters, John McLaughlin, Matt Towery on the other side.
You're ways behind.
Coming up, 800-941-SEAN.
Take the most of it.
This Monday.
Went by.
Keeping an eye on Chuck and Nancy and their minions.
Yeah, looks like most of it's going to miss us. Oh, shit. I'm not supposed to get off here. Well. I'm trying to look at the radar while I'm driving.
The 154th Open Championship is on Sirius XM Channel 92. Rolls it, we rolls it. Exclusive coverage of golf's final major of the year continues tomorrow morning at 4 Eastern. Oh, that's brilliant! Get it! Listen to the Open Championship from Royal Birkdale on Open Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app.
Oh no, they're not going. They can't throw you out for recording on your phone with your phone.
Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate mega stores.
It's an outdoor venue. It's a public fairground.
Putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it.
I might just put it. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I got a pocket on this shirt. I'll just put you guys in vertical.
Ask yourself this question: is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth.
We'll see how it works out.
Just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual.
Probably. We'll see. I brought some plastic just for that occasion. Fucking green, let's go. So mad at myself. I wasn't paying attention to the exit.
If you're shopping for a new kitchen, you cannot miss the 5 more sale at cabinets to go. Because right now, the more you buy, the more you can save. We're talking up to 40% off quick ship in-stock cabinets, or 45% off console linen and chalet white. And you're going all in on a custom design kitchen tailored to your space. Their custom-built cabinets are 50% off. Shop at showrooms nationwide or online now through July 21st. Only at Cabinets to Go. Designed to wow. You'll hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car at work or with your kids, no matter where you are. Call now. 800-575-4181. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available.
I think it already rained here a little bit.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4181. That's 800-575-4181. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people. If your child used Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, or YouTube before age 18 and their behavior suddenly changed, listen carefully. Maybe they became distant, stopped sleeping, or perhaps they began struggling with an eating disorder, anxiety, depression, or self-harm. Recent courtroom verdicts are raising questions about the impact of social media on children. In March, juries returned verdicts of $375 million and $6 million involving social media platforms and the harm allegedly caused to young users. If your child used Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, or YouTube before age 18 and later suffered serious mental health harm, you may have a case. Call the Sentinel Group now at 800-885-4400 for a free case review. That's 800-885-4400.
Shoot it, motherfuckers.
StopSocialHarm.com. That's StopSocialHarm.com.
Paid for by the Sentinel Group. The Sentinel Group is not a law firm. Legal services are provided through affiliated law firms. At Lenseek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at Lenseek.com.
Oh, Eggsy, you don't have your premium anymore. Let me get you that, because I think if I do stream it, I'm going to stream it on premium. Who else doesn't have one? Slicky don't have his either, so let me purchase a few here. Glad I noticed that.
We continue. Our posters are with us. Matt Towery and John McLaughlin are with us.
Are you still in here,
Democratic Party,
Jared?
now mainstream in the party and dominating in their party in the impact of the midterm.
At least part of it in premium.
What about the extremist fact that last word, Matt Towery? How does this impact the midterm?
Got it.
Well, I always believe in midterms that people vote off of anger and off of fear. I say that, but that's always been my experience. Right now, there is enthusiasm. Yeah, the Democrats have more enthusiasm than the Republicans have. I think you have to take the issue of what's emerging with socialism in the Democratic Party. I think you have to take what's emerging in terms of what they want to do to Donald Trump and put this country through in the next 2 years. If they take the House, and how much mayhem that would take place, and then talk about the other issues, such as the fact that they would be easily led to open up the borders and take that platform.
But Jared was saying that storms were hitting him. I'm wondering if he's still in here. If he's not, I'm not going to waste the money.
Midterms are not about anything other than turnout. And if you don't get your turnout, you don't win. That's what the Republicans have to focus on.
All right, appreciate both of you, Matt Towery, John McLaughlin. Thank you both. We will have you on regularly as this midterm election year unfolds. 800-941-SEAN, our number if you want to be a part of the program. Anyway, 6 Hour is celebrating 250 years of freedom with an exciting summer promotion. Now, when you buy any new P365 pistol, our friends at 6 Hour will give you their everyday carry flashlight. Look, I have this on me every single day. It's the very best everyday flashlight you can buy right now. When you get the #1 concealed carry pistol in the country, they will give it to you for free. Now, look, more people are outdoors. The odds are that your risk factor goes up for you and your family. You want to be safe. You want to be secure.
Well, I'll start it in regular, but it's only going to be on Rumble, though.
P365 pistol, you get their free 6 Hour everyday carry flashlight. Limited time only. Don't wait. 6hour.com.
I used to live out this way
today. And you're listening to the best of the Sean Hannity Show. We'll have more of your favorite guests, topics, and memorable moments. That's all coming up.
The World Cup reaches its magnificent crescendo. History waits to be written. One moment of magic can echo forever. This is football at its most glorious.
The FIFA World Cup final is on Sirius XM tomorrow at 3 Eastern. Spain takes on defending champs Argentina.
It's Messi! It's magical!
Well, when I lived in Kent and I worked all around here.
Sirius XM FC 157 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
It's the last Friday of the month and you're in the office late again. One report is still incomplete because you're waiting on one last receipt. You sent emails, pinged Slack, maybe even wandered over to someone else's desk. You've done everything except the actual job of closing the books. RAM is for finance teams who are tired of the chase. Imagine this. A team member makes a purchase and you instantly see the charge, the receipt, and the category all in one place. No more taking your inboxes or chasing late submissions. RAM automatically enforces your policies and blocks out-of-policy spend before it even happens.
Damn. Jeep still got the stickers on the windows.
40,000 companies like CBRE and Shopify are closing their books faster with fewer surprises and way less stress. And right now, your business can get $250 off just by signing up at ramp.com/SXM. That's ramp.com/SXM. Spend smarter, automate faster, and finally close the books without working overtime with Ramp.
Hey, if you're shopping for a new kitchen, you cannot miss the Buy More, Save More sale at Cabinets to Go. Because right now, the more you buy, the more you can save. We're talking up to 40% off quick ship in-stock cabinets, or 45% off console linen and chalet white. And if you're going all in on a custom designed kitchen tailored to your space, their custom built cabinets are 50% off. Shop at showrooms nationwide or online now through July 21st. Only at Cabinets to Go. Designed to wow. Hi, I'm Kathy Hill, founder of Tax Tiger. Tax Tiger operates on the Christian principles of honesty and integrity. Not only can we protect you from the IRS, we prepare your back taxes, release wage and bank levies, and negotiate the best settlements in the nation. Call Tax Tiger today to schedule your free consultation or visit us online at taxtiger.com.
IRS 9196. That's 1-800-IRS-9196.
Go.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what
missed the turn.
You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse.
surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the
Turns not marked very well. Just that little digital sign. You should have seen the white rails there.
That's aquablation.com. Visit aquablation.com. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include but are not limited to urinary symptoms, mild pain, infection, or less frequently, urethral or rectal injury, or ejaculatory dysfunction. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Attention investors, the rise of RV park investments has been awesome and today's most exciting opportunity in real estate. It's summertime. This year, nearly 35 million Americans will take an RV trip, a 23% increase from last spring. With the growing demand of RV parks, this market is a fertile ground for investors. With an RV resort property, you own the land, the buildings, the facilities, and no maintenance, no heavy upkeep, no mortgages required. Resort properties.
Actually, I want to be on the other side because exiting it's going to be on this side. Yeah.
So how do you get started? Talk to the experts at resortpropertiesgroup.com. Resortpropertiesgroup.com specializes in turnkey RV resort investments that are fully managed and built for cash flow. These resort properties also qualify for self-directed IRAs and 401k plans. To learn more, visit resortpropertiesgroup.com or call 888-307-1685. 888-307-1685. Resortpropertiesgroup.com. Resortpropertiesgroup.com. Individual results may vary. One single guarantee for results.
Okay. Will do, buddy. I'll go live again in a bit. Thanks for hanging out. Talk to you later. Peace.